Hey, what's up, guys? This is Carlos, aka the Wrestling Movie Guy. And it has certainly been a while since I put something up, and this has been a long time coming, so what do you say we talk about Spider-Man? Well, for those of you who may not know, I'm actually a pretty big Spider-Man fan. I've been reading the comics since I was a kid. I grew up in the 90s, which was, for a lot of people, a pretty tough time to be a Spider-Man fan because of the whole Clone Saga thing, but here I am. I never lost faith in Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man all my life, and I love the movies as well, although I love them to varying degree. So I was thinking, just for shits and giggles, why don't we talk about the three Spider-Men and decide which one is the best suit. Now, this is purely a personal opinion, so if you disagree with me, hey, more power to you. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the suits, but that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today. Who had the best suits? Now, when it comes to the new Spider-Man movies, as good as they are, there's so many suits in them, I'm not going to start a list about them, maybe later down the road. But for the time being, let's just stick to the three main suits that all the Spider-Men have used, from Tobey Maguire to Andrew Garfield to Tom Holland. So, what do you say we get this thing going? The top three suits. Let's roll. Number 3. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit. Now, when I first saw this film in 2002, and yes, regrettably, I am old enough to admit that I saw this in theaters back in the day, I actually love this suit, but unfortunately, over the years, it's kind of gone down, and my love for it has kind of gone down, because even though I'd walked in, reading Spider-Man comics pretty much all my life, I didn't realize at the time that this really isn't the best representation of Spider-Man. There's something a little too metallic about it. I don't know how to put it. A lot of people seem to have a problem with this suit. Now, I don't hate it like other people do, but the first time that I saw it, I was blown away by it. But I think the reason why I liked it so much is just that I was so happy to actually have a Spider-Man movie, because Lord knows, growing up, real young, I never ever thought that we would have Spider-Man movies on screen. And you actually look into the history of how this film got made, and there are other videos that have done better jobs than I can right now explaining it. Basically, if you know anything about the history of Spider-Man, it had a very long road to being made. James Cameron tried to bring it to life back in the day, and even Canon Films tried to bring it to life. But they actually wanted to make Spider-Man like an actual, six-armed spider guy, which actually does happen in the comics, but nobody really wanted to see that in the first ever film adaptation. Lord knows, nobody wanted to see a Canon Films version of Spider-Man. The point being is that when I saw this for the first time, I really enjoyed this suit. I thought it really looked cool, and it still kind of does. I actually use it from time to time in the new Spider-Man PS4 game. But if you look at it, the shading of it, the eyes, the logo, everything about it's just, there's something not quite right about it. But I still got love for it, but it's just not quite what a Spider-Man suit should be. So regrettably, we're gonna have to put it at the bottom of the list. And with that said, we're gonna move on to the next one. Number 2. Please, before you unsubscribe, hear me out. I know a lot of you are going to be looking at this. What the hell? Why is this guy putting the new Tom Holland suit at number 2? No, that's terrible. You can't do that. Well, I just did. But still, please, hear me out. Look, I may be completely contradicting myself because I talked about how the suit in Spider-Man, the original Tobey Maguire films, didn't quite work for me because it wasn't really a good representation of the Spider-Man suit that we see in the comics. But this, of course, is higher up, and I actually think that these suits are great. I'm enjoying the hell out of these new movies, although it took me a little bit of time to come over to the to the Tom Holland bandwagon. I actually think that these suits look fantastic. I think they look really, really good on film. They are, like I said, a great representation. They even have the little the little nets underneath the armpits of Spider-Man, so he can actually kind of glide through the air, which is so cool that they put that in there. I totally geeked out the first time that I saw that. I was like, yes, they finally got that in there properly. And the other thing that I really like about these suits is that Spider-Man's eyes actually squint, just like they do in the comics. That stuff is just a great touch to put on the suit. My only issue with these suits, and why it's at number 2 on this list, is the fact that I really genuinely think that the CGI that they use to bring these suits to life kinda takes me out of it. Now again, I'm not complaining, I like these movies, it's a small gripe, but my biggest issue with these Spider-Man movies is that Spider-Man looks a little too cartoony, if you will, if that makes any sense. I just really don't think that it looks 100% realistic when I see them on film, but that said, the movies are great. They're hilarious, they're heartfelt, they got good writing, they got great characterization, and they actually stay, for the most part, pretty true to the comics. So please don't hate me for, not liking these suits as much as what's next on the list. But of course, you probably already figured that out by now. So what do you say we move on? Number 1. And here we go. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to be threatening to burn down my house. But guess what, y'all? I gotta put The Amazing Spider-Man 2, specifically, number 1 on the list. For me, personally, I love this suit. A lot of people did not care that much for the suit in The Amazing Spider-Man Part 1. I kinda can't blame them. I enjoy that film, and I actually enjoy the Amazing Spider-Man series, the best of all of them. Oh god, my house is about to get burned down. Please don't hurt me! Huh, oh thank god, I'm okay. Alright, so hear me out, guys. I love the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I genuinely do. I really do. I thought that they were a step up from the Tobey Maguire movies, even though I love those movies too. 1 and 2. We will not talk about Part 3. It never happened. I love Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, but I just really felt that Andrew Garfield nailed Spider-Man. I thought that he was perfect. A lot of people have problems with him maybe being a little too cool as Peter Parker, but that's not who we're talking about right now. We're talking about Spider-Man, so I'm going to leave it at that. I think that this suit knocks it out of the park from Amazing Spider-Man 2. A lot of people, they were able to fix what was wrong with the suit in Amazing Spider-Man 1, which I had a few issues with, but overall, I liked that suit in that film as well. But the eyes drove me crazy on that suit. I didn't like that they took, like, what was it, like sunglasses or something like that and put it on there. They corrected everything that they needed to in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and not only do I think it's the best suit, I think it's the best looking suit on film. Again, I really like the Tom Holland movies. I think that they're great, but when I see Spider-Man going through the city and whatnot, it really feels super CGI. And when you see Spider-Man in the original Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, the CGI doesn't hold up. It doesn't look that great today. But, God, just that opening scene alone in Amazing Spider-Man 2 is fantastic. The way that you see the logo of Spider-Man, and then we fade into him falling from the sky and then going around the city, it's just beautiful to look at. The CGI is pretty much flawless. And that is why it's number 1 for me. There's just something about that suit in Amazing Spider-Man 2 that just rocks my world. I love it. And if you guys don't agree with me, hey, that's fine. It's a free internet. You're all free to bash on me as much as you want. But hey, it's just been a long time since I made a video, and I thought, what the hell? I've been neglecting comic book talk on this channel for way too long, and this is right now the first episode that I've made for Baked Comic Talk. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Maybe share this video with a friend. You can show them just how absolutely insane I am for picking the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit as number 1. But yeah, that's a wrap right there, guys. I'm going to move on. I'll have a video up very soon. If you hung out to the end, hey, congratulations. You are an absolute trooper, and I thank you very much for watching. But anyway, guys, again, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch y'all later. Peace!